Good afternoon. I believe talent is mattered. Intelligence matters too. Opportunity matters. But sooner or later, life places something in your hands that none of them can solve. A parent's illness, a company needs your attention, an industry changing faster than your plans, a responsibility you never asked for. And in that moment, success is no longer about potential. It becomes about what you are willing to carry. I learned that the people who shape the future are not simply the most talented. They are the ones willing to step forward before they feel ready. Because responsibility is not given, it's taken. Meet Rudaina, my mother, 25 years as an Arabic language educator, full of energy, powerful woman, full of courage and wisdom. In 2019, I noticed the first signs of Alzheimer in my mother. At first, it looked harmless. She repeated the same questions twice, maybe 5 times. She forgot names she had carried for decades. She looked at familiar places like they were strangers. And I remember the first moment fear became real. She looked at me, and for 1 second, I felt she was trying to remember who I was. That second changed everything because I understood something terrifying, that no one was coming. There was no perfect time, no warning, no preparation. Life had already made its decision. Life, and whether I was ready or not, no longer that matter. Responsibility had arrived quietly, without permission, and it stayed. Years later, I stood beside her in the ICU. Machines were helping her breathe. The sound of monitors filled the room. One hand held hers because I knew she could still feel me. And I was the only thing that seemed familiar to her in that room. The one thing that brought her comfort. The other was holding my laptop. Even though our company is well structured and organized, but still emails, decisions, projects, investors, people waiting for your answers. I still remember I asked myself something clearly. Why? Why am I still working? Not for money, not for ambition, not for legacy, because of love. Because even love becomes responsibility. Because the people we love, the people we lead, the futures that we are protecting, they never pause. When life gets heavy, they simply ask, will you carry this? That moment changed how I understood leadership. Leadership is not power. It's presence. It's staying when leaving would be easier. We are taught success is money. Leadership is authority. Entrepreneurship is freedom. But reality is different. Meet Firas, my partner, my brother. We started this journey 20 years ago, built the company from uncertainty, not from comfort, not from stability, from uncertainty. There have been many periods of time. I still remembered payrolls, due clients, investors, projects hanging on by one approval, and more than one family inside that company was depending on one decision. In those moments, entrepreneurship stops being exciting. It becomes heavy. You stop asking, how do I grow? You start asking yourself, how do I protect people who trusted me, believed in my dreams? That is when I learned entrepreneurship is not promotion, it's proof. Proof of who you become when responsibility becomes heavier than fear. Titles do not define leadership, decisions do, especially the quiet ones nobody seen. Then another responsibility arrived, not personal, it's strategic. Our industry was changing. Traditional animation had built our history, but AI was already rewriting the rules of creation. Faster production, different tools, different expectations, different futures. Many people asked how we resist this. Should we resist this? Should we protect what we know? But I realized something very important. Leadership is not protecting comfort. It's preparing people for reality. The question was never AI would enter our industry. It already had. The real question was, would we let technology define us, or would we take responsibility for how it would be used? AI can generate content, can replace tasks, but it cannot replace values and judgment and ethics. It cannot decide what should be protected and what should be changed. That still belongs to us. And that is where leadership mattered too. That realization led me to another question. If technology is changing everything, what are we really leaving behind? Because leadership is not only about surviving our own moment. It be about preparing others for the moment you may never see. We spend so much time asking, how do we grow faster? How do we compete better? How do we stay ahead? But maybe the better question is, who are we helping to become ready? Because responsibility is not only personal, it moves forward from your parents to children, from teachers to students, from leaders to the people watching them quietly. The strongest decisions in life are often not the ones that benefit us. They are the ones that protect people you may never meet. That's how values survive. That's how culture survives. That's how ethics survives. That's how future survives. Not through slogans, but through people who decide that what comes next matters more than their own comfort. And maybe that it's the deepest form of leadership, to carry something that will outlive you. My mother taught me that knowledge is a trust, character is a choice, and impact is the true measure of success. But Alzheimer taught me a hard lesson. Entrepreneurship taught me the same lesson, and the transition into AI made it impossible to ignore. Life does not wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't ask whether you feel prepared, confident, or ready. It simply places responsibility in front of you. Sometimes it comes as a parent who needs you, sometimes as a team depending on your decisions, sometimes as an entire industry changing faster than your comfort can handle. In that moment, your talent is not the most important thing, and not your experience too. What matters most is your willingness to stand still, face it, and take ownership. Because leadership is rarely loud. Most of the time, it's quiet. It's choosing to stay when leaving would be easier. It's making the difficult decisions before it becomes obvious. It's protecting people, values, ethics, and future with no one is watching, when no one is watching. We often think the future is shaped by major innovations, by technology or by extraordinary people. But more often, it's shaped by ordinary people making uncommon decisions, people who choose responsibility over comfort, people who step forward without waiting for permission, people who understand that progress is not defined by what we create, but by what we are willing to carry. That's in the end, is what defines leadership, and perhaps that's what truly decides the future. Thank you very much.